The history of Ealdor. Long before the rise of Ysconbe and Runa, the land north of the lake was a sprawling ancient forest known as Silvanai, stretching beyond the horizon in every direction. It was said to be a living embodiment of the god's will, with every tree, stream and creature connected by a web of divine magic. The first elves of Ealdor, calling themselves the Silvani, believed they were born from the forest itself, molded from its roots and blessed with long life, and an intimate bond with nature. The Silvani were guided by the gods of old, a pantheon of deities who represented the primal forces of the world. Kilgara, the great dragon, the god of balance, wisdom and destruction. He is revered as the protector of the forest and the arbiter of justice, both feared and loved. Silthara, the forest mother, goddess of growth, fertility and renewal. She is said to have created the Silvanai forest, and shaped the elves from its essence. Vaeln, the trickster, god of change, chaos and ambition. Vaeln is seen as both a corrupter and a necessary force for evolution. Nathira, the serpent of shadows, goddess of death, poison and rebirth, represented by the Nathair, a magical serpent species that thrives in Ealdor's rivers and lakes. The elves built their society in harmony with these gods, weaving their faith into every aspect of life. Temples were not built from stone but grown from living trees, and rituals often involve communion with the Valia, a water spirit who carries the blessings of Silthara. The elves speak only in whispers of the time when their peace was shattered. In their oldest texts, known as the Songs of Silvanai, they recount a terrible conflict between the gods of old. Kilgara and Silthara sought to maintain the balance of nature, while Vaeln and Nathira conspired to reshape the world for their own ends. The war shook the heavens and the earth, shattering the once unified forest. Vast swaths of Silvani burned, leaving behind barren plains and ash-filled rivers. Though the gods vanished after the war, the elves believed their spirits remained. Kilgara, weakened, took to the skies and disappeared, promising to return when the world was ready for balance. Nathira's essence seeped into the swamps, giving rise to the Nathair, serpents born of shadow and venom. Silthara's spirit resides in the roots of Ealdor's trees, ensuring the forest endures despite its diminished size. By the time Edmund Fairchild and his settlers founded Ysconbe, the elves of Ealdor had become an insular people, fiercely protective of their land. Generations of witnessing humanity's destructive tendencies solidified their disdain for humans whom they called Valstur, or the unrooted. This animosity was heightened by the rise of Runa, whose mining operations poisoned rivers that once flowed into the Silvanai. Ealdor's council, the Silvani elders, forbade trade or interaction with the outside world, believing it was their divine duty to preserve the forest and its creatures. They enforced strict laws to keep outsiders at bay. Over the centuries, Ealdor's forest has continued to shrink due to human expansion and natural decline. Some elves interpret this as a sign of the gods' displeasure, while others argue that the world is shifting in ways even the gods cannot control. The elves' recent willingness to engage with outsiders stems from necessity. Recognizing that isolation has left them vulnerable, a younger generation of elves has pushed for cautious diplomacy. This shift is not without controversy. Many elder elves, still loyal to Kilgara's promise of a cleansing return, view this as a betrayal of their ancient ways. The elves' days are marked by prayer and ceremony. Each dawn begins with the Song of Silthara, a hymn sung to the forest to honor its resilience. Elves are master herbalists and healers, often accompanied by animals bonded to them from birth. Every tool and weapon in Ealdor is crafted with reverence, often adorned with runes invoking the gods' blessings.